What's going on, everybody? It's Timmy G. You're in Timmy G's spot, man. I just we just got out of our spaces with Crash earlier, and shout out Jules, shout out Dicey, shout out Bull Shark, shout out everybody that was in there, and everybody interacting 100x. Man, then we left and rocked into another space, and it really made me see that I'm in the right community in crypto because it was just to me a mess and a shit show. And no disrespect to the guys running the space, that they're there for other people to promote theirs, and it's hard to fit that in with a 2-minute sales pitch. I'm sure that's rough on everybody, but it was just, whew, boy. I'm from Alabama, man. I'm from Birmingham, so I already have trust issues with my catalytic converter on my car, leaving it parked out in the street, much less getting involved in some of those projects. And we all know the degen projects, not the cryptocurrency degen, whatever, but some of them that are rug pulls and all the bullshit that goes along with it. So shout out to everybody. Yo, what up? Shout out to everybody that was in the spaces today, and it was a really enjoyable process. Matter of fact, Jules mentioned sharing. I'm going to add him too. I'm just going to repost this, I guess. Repost and quote it with his tag in it. That way he can check out, and if he's interested or has time, because his input is much appreciated. From what I can tell, he's speaking from the heart about stuff. And I'm still. I'll clip a piece of this or several pieces and tag Crash, the cryptocurrency in it, the coin. Whenever I do that, because I don't know how. I don't want to be saying something out of key that's on my personal opinion and not be a view of the community. And I've learned to do that from being involved in recovery and everything else. Is I don't want to be the face of it. When somebody sees me, because I can be the face of this, somebody go see me smoking a cigarette with my sister somewhere, because when we're together, we smoke cigarettes. I don't normally smoke cigarettes. I vape a little bit or whatever, but you become the face of something, it becomes a very dangerous thing, and that's not my line to tiptoe. That's somebody else's line to tiptoe. So thank God for that I'm not that important. But man, yeah, and in the space today, that they were talking about a lot of self promotion and marketing and how to make that work. And there were some really interesting things that I didn't know about X that I'll be investigating more and trying to delve deeper into as I go. What I got out of a lot of it was setting goals for yourself. And my goal, since leaving that space today, is I'm going to go live for 100 days in a row. Now, I'm going on vacation, so some of it may be brief. I may be in Panama City going live. I may be, wherever I'm going, I'm going to make it a goal to at least do something live. Maybe even me in real action and not in my studio with my soundboard and stuff. So, if anybody's in the chat, if you can, I checked everything, double checked everything last night. If anybody was in here listening, I apologize that I was using the microphone on my camera the whole time. So I don't know. I'm sure the quality is a lot better through the soundboard, but I apologize that anybody. 100 days of being live in a row, and I apologize if anybody had to witness that because I felt like there was some really good content within that hour of live space, but I deleted it because I was just like, dude, that's horrible that somebody have to listen to. It just sounded like an echo room. But yeah, StreamYard is the streaming service that I use, so they do a good job about noise cancellation and kind of doing some of the pre-settings for you to get started in this. And I am just getting started and doing this, so it's a good bit of me getting comfortable with myself doing it and with the community. So and I'm okay with that. I don't have any problems with that. I've embarrassed myself enough in life to understand that it's just life, and I'm not that fucking important anyway. But I'm gonna jet over to the chart real quick and pull it up and let you know what my mind is thinking. I posted something in the in the TG in Telegram today. And what's cool about this, the more I look at this chart and the more I'm involved in this community, is if you're looking at it, you remember the bread comment from Crash, and then you remember the mention of the meme token, and it's really cool when you look at it because you're really starting to understand if you're invested in a community and you're standing in a community that a lot of this the rises make sense if you're involved in what's happening, and the decline makes sense in the sense of crypto. So I mean, people are gonna, you know, they're gonna make their bag and they're gonna roll out, and then there's what I hope to see is a stabilization on a floor of support that is somewhere pretty consistent, and where I'm seeing that right now is somewhere around the $17 million market cap, and it puts every token at 1.01 9 117 or 17 between 17 and 19. But and that's okay with me, dude, because I remember the spaces when Crash came into the spaces. I remember seeing the jump after that. I remember seeing. I know I'm fully invested. I'm sitting here scanning. I'm sitting here making sure that the chat's where it needs to be, and it's everything in there is coming from a place of truth and honesty and good intentions. And I believe that it is. It's very well moderated and very safe space as far as any click it links or bullshit like that. And I respect that out of what I believe is a lot of people are. It ain't just that it ain't it ain't just that we're so invested in a project. I think what it is the community is actually getting together and people are doing their part. You know, and I know that's the case for me. And I enjoy doing that. I enjoy actually going in there, being a help when I can, where I can, telling the guys, hey, I'm going to be absent for this part of the day. I appreciate y'all, taking care. What up, Jules? Let's fucking go. I appreciate y'all letting me be a part of that community where I can say, hey, I'm headed to the river for about 5 hours, man, because I got to the river yesterday. And bro, it was so hot and humid outside, and my nieces and my daughter were out there running around, scraping their fucking knees up on bicycles. They don't know how to ride, crying, coming inside, asking for popsicles. And I laid back on that couch and I put a little oscillating fan on my feet and locked it into place, bro. And I knocked out for like 2 hours of just snooze town, bro. And it was just America as fuck. Everything was America as fuck yesterday, and I'm proud of my country. If you're listening from another country, I hope you're as proud of yours as I am of mine, because America, fuck yeah, and that's what I'm about, and I don't want to. I want to see America do good just as much as I want to see every other project that anybody is deeply invested in do well, along with my project that I'm invested in, and for me that's Crash, and that's the way that I'm going to rock it, and that being said, anything I say on this podcast, I'm not the face of Crash. That's Dicey's job, and kudos to him for doing it. But I might not even pull up this chart one day if I have something going on in my personal life. I might just talk about that, because there's a lot of stuff that I go through, and things occupy my time more sometimes than others. But for today and where I'm at right now, and the involvement is, I'm fully deployed into Crash. 99.9% of my crypto portfolio is in Crash. Now, not my stocks, and I'm a business owner. I run three different businesses, and I say I run three different businesses. It's not all me running. That's an impossibility for the amount that we push out. But delegating tasks where you can is what makes billionaires billionaires, and millionaires, can do that off of hard work. I believe somebody can just become a millionaire off of hard work. I know, because my portfolio is round about there, and I'm not boasting or bragging, because for 10 years I was on dope and I was a piece of shit. I mean, literally a couch surfer, and that's why I hated that podcast was on the microphone last night, because I mentioned, For 10 years, I jumped from couch to couch to couch. I called myself a cockroach, man, because a fucking nuclear bomb could go off and my head would pop up somewhere. And as soon as you asked me for a water bill that was $35, which I wish I could pay $35 to live now with ramen noodles, it was time to go find a new couch to sleep on, man. So I was down bad. Whenever I got sober, I was about 125 pounds, and that was 7 years ago. And I've learned that that's not the hardest things that I've went through in life. The hardest thing, the worst mistakes I've ever made were while I was sober, not while I was using. But that's the thing, is they're mistakes. As I can capitalize on them later on. I can do the opposite thing next time. And when you start over, you're not starting all the way over. You're starting over with one more experience negative to go into the positive. So you're already hedging ahead of the game, substantially. Because most people, I would put that person in probably the 70th percentile that even gave it a first shot in the first place to go reach out and go fucking do something, and if you got back up after a downfall, fuck yeah, and if it knocks you down, you stay down. I hope you get back up, and that's where I stand on all that. And I got my green board behind me. I can change the colors. Last night it was red because the candlesticks were red, but today it's pretty fucking green, man. It was weird in Alabama today. We got on the jobs and we started. That's right, man. That's right. Yeah. I've slept some worse places than cars. I've, I've slept places where I woke up and people with no teeth were sitting there smiling at me. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all looking at? But yeah, man, I got up and at 10:30 I went to my restaurant to go pick up a check, and the lights were on, the photo cell lights, because the cloud coverage was so dark. It was raining. I mean, bad at 10:30. So it was so dark that it looked like about 9 o'clock at night. And every time I looked at my phone, crash was just going up. Another $1 million market cap, another $1 million market cap, and it was like, fuck yeah, bro, keep rocking. I hope this is the fucking piss missile, but yeah, and it made the day not so dark. And we had a good day. We wasn't as productive as what we could have been. But man, it's Friday after the 4th of July. And I've learned that there's doubt. My problem is there's so much to do with my two hands. If I had 5 more of myself, I would be in a lot better shape, but that's not the case. So I'm actually looking at trying to tone down my business to an actual accomplishable tasks, what we can actually do and what we can accomplish. Because if you oversell and you lose your quality, or you lose your customer relations, or if you lose any of that stuff, it's equally as important in business. And I believe it's equally as important in connecting with a crypto community too. And that's what I'm all about right now, dude. I am delved into this laptop, delved into my studio. Girlfriend's okay with it. She knows, hey, he's in there drinking coffee, and there's worse things he can be doing. so let him rock with it, and that's what I'm fucking doing, and I'm happy doing it just for today, man. And what an experience at life. And I want to go back and talk about 4th of July again. And I said it last night. Somebody out there, I'm not promoting alcohol or any kind of usage, but I am telling you, I loved it. I loved it enough to give a whole lot of my life to. But somebody out there last night was drinking their first beer. Somebody out there last night had fireworks going off in the background. They had that Sandlot movie experience. They were out there kissing their first girlfriend, maybe getting their first feel up under a shirt. Dude, it was fucking America last night is what it was. And I went in my girlfriend's dad's garage and looked at his 69 Chevelle and said, God damn, look at that shit. I love it, man. I got home and looked at my Harley and I was like, ooh, boy. And that's what it's all about, man, is the good times, bro. The good times, the good moments. And you don't think about it enough that you're actually living in the good times where you are if you're here right now, because it can always be worse. And it's either blow or catch me if you can. In one of those movies, his dad looks at him and says, son, when you're down, it's never, when you're up, it's never good enough. And when you're down, it never feels like it's going to be good again. And my idea of balance in my head is from one extreme to the other. It's that place right in between, and I gotta all I have to do is identify that to myself while I'm going through it, is that I don't have to live in one extreme to the other. I can acknowledge that I do that, and I can compensate my mind and my mental capacity and my time on focusing on right now, and what can I handle right now? Am I doing everything? Now, if I'm not doing everything that I know I can do, that's a shortfalling on myself. That's a whole different story. But if I'm doing everything that I know I can possibly do, then there's no need to worry about it, or dwell on it any longer. It's time to rock on and let the loose ends drag, is what my buddy says. He said, "Man, just there ain't no way we can handle more than what we're handling." We just gotta, sometimes I gotta tell a customer, "You just gotta fucking wait, man. We can't." And what a blessing to have. That is just a blessing in itself, to have enough to do, because for a long time I was not doing shit, dude. Done, done. And when I say done, I mean, dude, ooh, done. Um, and that's the way I live, man. And I found, something Jules said in the space today. I found comfort in my own chaos. He didn't say it like that. He's, you're comfortable doing what you're doing, and discomfort is change. And I believe that when a person gets hungry enough, he'll find a way to go out and get his own food. There's a sign outside of Yellowstone that says, "Don't feed the bears," because they will become dependent on you to feed them, instead of going out and doing what their instincts are putting them to do. And I believe that fully, man, is as a human being, as a man, or woman in the world, is you're going to get hungry. You're going to need shelter. You're going to need this. And when you get uncomfortable enough with the way things are going, you'll get your ass up and you'll do something fucking different. And hey, man, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, dude, I love my crash community, bro. I would really love to talk to people more on a one-on-one basis, and have, conversations on the phone, because it's really hard for me to type. And I'm from I got a, Alabama public school education, man, so I'm not punctuating correctly, and I'm not spelling correctly. And as long as you know what I said and how I said it, I think we're good, and that's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for me to do on the phone. My customers know, don't email them, don't text them, call him. If he don't answer, he'll call you back, because I this whole typing stuff is just, it's too much. Which is also why I would rather do something live and video streaming, because it seems like the perfect median in between. And whenever I figure out how I can get people on the phone call, um, stuff will go a lot smoother, I believe. And actually co-hosting a space with a video space, or maybe do that on YouTube. I need help with that. If anybody has any direction of actually how to do this setup in a way that a redneck from Alabama can understand, I got the equipment. I just need to figure out how to implement the tools. And to be honest, if this is what I do for the next however long, that's fine too, because I enjoy it. I enjoy it just the way it is. I appreciate every 35 viewers right now. That's awesome. I appreciate everybody coming in and listening to me ramble. I'm gonna pull up the chart so everybody can have an active view on that as well. Kind of just sidestep myself so I'm not so fucking pretty on the camera. It's Yeah, man. It's still cranking. Everything's good. I'm okay with this floor. Like I said, I've never understood the concept. I thought when I got into crypto, I was just gambling, and I got into Shiba first. And what I saw with Shiba is the burn. The great burn, and how it went after that. And so I started burning, dude. After putting, I think it was $5,800 into Shiba Inu, I burned probably $1,500 of it. Because I thought that would make a difference. I thought, man, there's a limited supply and demand, and I thought about it in a way of business. Now I understand meme coins are a little bit different than utility, I guess, like stuff that actually has and that's what my business partner says. I would invest in crypto, but but you would really have to do a lot of digging to figure out what that's being used for in a way that a normie can understand. And long story short, I ended up bailing out of Shiba, at a loss, and put some in Doge, and it had a good little run, and it ran back up to where I was okay pulling out of it. And And dude, I came to, I was on Robinhood doing that, and Robinhood blocked me out of my account because I was doing some actual, like, day trading, I guess you'd call it, and, and I got fucked by Robinhood because I locked up about, $4,000, in Robinhood, and I was like, I couldn't withdraw, I couldn't do anything, and, uh, and I was like, "Dude, I'm, like, cash this is my money. It's not your fucking money. If I wanna lose it all," because another thing I've talked about in space, I was a gambler, I am a gambler currently, is something that I'm working with. I wouldn't say I'm struggling with it because I don't I go with what I intend to lose, but I do know that if the me that I was 7 years ago saw me gambling like that, it'd be a smack in the face to him, bro. That guy from back there would whoop my ass today, 100% for doing some of the things that I've done with money gambling. And that's what I relate cryptocurrency to is if you go in to play the game and you're gambling, you're probably, there's people that's been lucky, and there's also people that's hit fucking $1,000,000 jackpots in the goddamn casino playing slot machines. I'm not saying that they're not there, and then, you got the guys in the back, "You only lose if you quit and never hit it," and I'm like, "Dude, you don't understand, bro. I'm blowing," I've had nights where I blown $8,000, $9,000 in a fucking casino. So, long story short, I ended up splitting the $3,000 that I had left after losing, I think it was 8,600 because after I got my Robinhood account consolidated and got it out of there, I put it in Coinbase and ended up going into one of them called Double Zero Token or some bullshit, and then fucking ended up getting into the wallet. And MAGA had a good. I put 1,500 in MAGA, 1,500 in Brett because I saw a link at the bottom of a news article on Shiba Inu on Robinhood that talked about Crash, and that was one of his calls was Brett, was going to print millionaires. So what I did was I split it between a cause I believed in, which was me personally, MAGA. I'm a Trump supporter, and if you're not a Trump supporter, that's totally fine. That's why I love America. Is you have the right to fucking trust in whoever the fuck you want to. Do I agree with it? No, but that's your prerogative. What you do with your belief system is that's beautiful. Whatever. But me personally, I support Donald Trump. So, and I'm not going to get political. I don't want to get political unless something just really bad is going on in the country, and I just feel led to talk about it because I was alive during 9/11, and I was 8 years old. I remember getting picked up from elementary school and parents thinking the world, I mean, it's about to go down, and I remember all this stuff. So if something like that happened, I'm not going to say I would never talk about anything, but that's as far as I'm going into it right now. But anyway, 1,500 in MAGA and 1,500 in Brett, and both of them 2x'd. About 3 weeks after I let it go, and I was at the beach, and I pulled it all the way out and just put it in USD, and I fucked around a little bit with that, got it back down to about 5,000 from the 3,000 because both of them did good. MAGA went up to $17.17, I believe was the max on it, and then Brett got about to where it is right now and was scaling back a little bit, which I wasn't. I was playing. I didn't have no convictions in any projects whatsoever. Um, but I had some people on my X account that I had came across just randomly, and I downloaded the X account to do this podcast. So this studio has actually been built for like 2 or 3 months, and I've been busy. But that ain't the only reason that I hadn't done it. If I cared enough to take time to do something, I'll stay up till fucking 5 a.m. and do it. But the studio's been built, and I've been stagnant on what I'm doing with it. And nobody on X is affiliated with my personal life. So, and I don't know how that's going to pan out long term. I really don't care because I work hard and we're okay. But I don't want to lose half of my customers by saying I'm a Trump supporter because, in my opinion, you can be Democrat or Republican, but everybody's money's green, and that's just the way it is. So I don't want my personal views to get construed into hatred for somebody else when that's not the case, because I don't hate anybody. Um, and so for right now, my X account is strictly me, and what I've done through really cryptocurrency and liking guns and liking sports and the teams I like and Alabama football and just the hodgepodge of stuff that you get into when you start looking through X. But I saw this Crash coin and I always wondered after I remember thinking I wish there was a Crash coin that I could buy. And it wasn't even for the individual. I was just like, crash is just a scary word when it comes to stocks and when it comes to like obviously cryptocurrency, and I was like, that's a scary word. I didn't even know that the guy that called Brett was Crash. Didn't even make a correlation, didn't know who he was. But I started seeing the little logo pop up, and these people were, "Hey man, this is 2Xing every day." And Dicey, I remember, Dicey said, "Man, I went to sleep one time, and I woke up, and it's been red, and every other time it's been 2X, 2X." And of course, right when I bought in, that plateaued, and it just kind of stayed stagnant. Now it did have a substantial jump after that. That was at a $20 million market cap. That was actually higher than what it is right now, and then we had the $40 million market cap. So, you know, um, when I say the loaf of bread and stuff, the people that are in that community know what I'm saying. I've been there for that. I've been there for the first time Crash joined a space that we were all in. I've been there for the second time. I've been there for the first post that Crash acknowledged us on. I've seen it, so it being a 16-day-old project to me, this thing has a heartbeat to me. It don't have a it's not a what it is, bull shark. Jack, chicken way, fake ID, fake ID, fake ID. Um, it's got a heartbeat, man. It's not a finite. It's not just pixie dust. It is actually a cause that I believe in. The more I got listening into the chat and I got a little bit involved in the chat, it became um, me getting into the Telegram because I didn't have Telegram downloaded. I didn't know what the fuck it was. Still, you can ask the team in here. I don't know what the fuck to do with this. They got a hand walking old man through most of this shit, and that's fine too. I don't mind learning anything, and that's something Jules and we were talking about in this space is, man, like I don't mind learning or screwing it up till I figure it out, and but I started learning what you know. I never had any run-ins with PCP. I did overdose on, it's not really an overdose, but it was LSD. I got hospitalized and strapped to a gurney and taken to the hospital. Yeah, I know what angel dust is. I just don't. I've never had any run-ins with it. Don't really want any. I never want today. Just for today, we ain't gonna do that. um, but I got in the Telegram with these guys, and I started, the futters were getting deleted and the random spam links were getting brought back. And there was already 6 other Telegram accounts for Crash and people, talking about airdrops. And, if you're involved in the spaces and you're involved in the Telegram, you know that this project has zero. They were paying for deck screen ads when they first started because it looked cool, but there's nobody getting paid to amp this. I'm not getting paid to amp this. I don't need it. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here because I want to be here. This is what I want to be doing, that's neat. And that's why also I can say what the fuck I want, you know. And that's what I'm gonna do anyway because I don't have time to sit here and have a list. This place don't have a list of things you can and can't say, and if there's something I disagree with, I can say it. But thus far, man, the principles of this project have been, you know, welcoming. And anybody that's came in with any questions. Now we've had some people that's been, yes, it's organic growth. It's authentic though, and more than organic, the authenticity of the people in this community is just, man. Like I'll come in at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'll stay on till 12:30 until I see my boy Cody Rock come in. And Cody Rock's had very little conversation with me, but I'm like, hey, is that dude still here? You know, and I know he is because it's just it's one of those things. It's like I know he's coming in from a different area of the world, and I'm rolling out, and it's just kind of like shift change, man. We'll see you later, Nux. I'm hitting the bed because she's calling me in, and it's cool, man. That's so neat. I believe anybody can get involved in a capacity to help a project like this, not financially, because when I actually got in here, I messaged Dicey and I was like, "Hey, man, let me cover some costs of these shirts, bro." And he was like, "Oh, no, no, we're not doing handouts." And I told him, I said, "Man, only the wild ones." If you like Dispatch, if you ever listen to Dispatch, if you yeah, I see it, man. 52, it's pretty neat. If you like Dispatch or ever heard of Dispatch, they got this song called "Only the Wild Ones," and in that song it says, "Only the wild ones will give you something and never want it back." And that's the way I try to be with people. I wanna give you something, and I don't want nothing in return for it. I want you to go do with it. And, and like, Jules was saying earlier, give freely of what I've been given, because I had a group of people in my life that showed me how to pay bills, that showed me how to not be a couch surfer, that showed me how to walk through life and have some normality and grow what I grew in a day, because some days were negative and some days were positive, but they taught me that, they gave freely, that this is not the end all be all of your existence. Whatever you're going through right now, it's not. If you wake up tomorrow, unless it's not, time rolls on, the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. And it's a pretty neat thing, because I was, I was leaving a halfway house that I was living at, and I was going to take a job in Birmingham because my daughter was just born, and she was in Birmingham, and I was living in Pensacola. And I got back to Birmingham at this job, and it was fine. I was making good money. Everything was going good, but I felt like I needed to go do something for myself. I felt like I now have enough knowledge to go do this on my own. I'm a good enough salesman to where I can go do this on my own. I can go talk to people. I know the lingo. I know everything. I know glass back and forwards, what I do in glass. I'm not saying everything, because there's a whole that's like saying you know everything about welding because you're a fucking welder. You're good at your kind of welding, you know everything about your scope. And I believe in my scope. Me as a business entity, one of the things that I hated about that company is they would do stuff knowing full well they was not equipped to do it, and try to make it work and hodgepodge shit. And it was just, I don't like that, and I don't do that in my company. If we can't handle the job, I'm going to tell the customer, here's somebody I can refer you to that could probably be well equipped to serve you. Because, and I don't use that same fucking verbiage, dude. 'Cause that's very bad. I'm like, hey, bro, we don't do that. Here's this, because I don't do shower doors, even though it's inside in the air conditioning. I go out and I do single pane windows, and I've posted a video on my ex of me cutting some glass. If anybody ever wants to learn how to cut glass and do this, I would show them how to do it, because I can give away what I can show you how to run a business. If you want to run a glass business in your area locally, it's very simple. To me, it takes some learning. There's a learning curve there, but there's good money to be made in it. And the main, along with doing what I already knew how to do in glass, I also learned how to gain an LLC, what a S corporation looked like, how taxes work, that I got to pay 30 cents out of every dollar that I make in taxes. And that sucks, man. That's one thing that I'm not so happy about with America, but as a whole, I love America. I don't like taxes. I believe taxes are theft. I could agree with it more. I mean, we ain't gonna go there, dude. But it's I learned how to develop businesses, and then I learned how to develop a restaurant business, and the setup of the actual entity of a business was the same. The operations were different. And then I learned how to have a business partner. I learned that I've got to sell half of this business. I owned half. I sold 40%. I kept 10 for investment. And along with real estate, now I buy real estate, and I buy it wholesale. I go deal with the person individually. I don't have to have all this bullshit. It's a cash sale. Everything's good, and I've done really well. It's a lot easier work for how much I've had to work, it's more beneficial for me to do that to make money than it is to actually go out and do my glass business. But I'm also providing, not me, they're providing themselves because they're excellent employees. But I provide them a job and an entity to work under, this trustworthy entity. Because if anybody had a problem for the first 2 years of my, even now, I would do the same thing. One bad review is not worth my reputation, because in this world, all you have is your name. That's it. That's what you'll come in with. That's what you'll come in with, and that's what you'll leave with. That'll be you, and everything that you do will fall underneath your name. In my opinion, you could think differently, but it holds weight. It holds depth. And that I feel that to be true. So I try to keep my name good. If anybody had a problem with a job that I did, I would first try to work it out with them with a discount. And if it got bad enough that, there was some people that were just irate, and this ain't gonna work. This is like, hey man, just keep it. You're in the same position you were before you called me. Your whole window now has a glass in it that you don't like, obviously, for whatever reason. I'm through doing that, I learned to go through and tell everybody everything that they could possibly run into negative with this window that I'm doing, because I don't do whole windows, I do glass replacements. So I'm telling them, hey, you're going to have to do a little touch up work. You're going to have to do, it's going to have carpentry right here. So I'll have to cut in a piece of wood. I let them know everything up front. And that's the cool thing about this project, dude, is Dicey and the developer and the community are 100% in tune with their community, to where everything that happens is no surprise. Now there may be some stuff and there is some exciting stuff like that's going on right now that's about to be pushed out, but everything is going to be told before it gets pushed out, or it's a known. This is not a negative thing at all. This is a complete positive thing, and we're going to roll it out because everybody's going to be excited, and that's even he was transferring from his dev wallet to a hard wallet, or something that I don't understand fully, because I'm not I'm not versed in that stuff. I know, if somebody comes in my wallet and drains it, it's gone. That's my that's my run in crypto. But anyway, it's everything is transparent. What's going to happen, and what that's going to look like. And if there's any concerns or questions, please message me. Let's talk through it. I'll tell you why. And I believe that wholeheartedly, that if anybody had questions about anything that was going on, they could get with somebody in this community to walk them through it step by step. And that's a really neat thing to happen within a community. From what I've seen, especially with a project that is as young as this one is at 16 days, I think it's beautiful. It's unprecedented. I don't see that it has been done anywhere with just normal people. And speaking about Crash as a trader, and from what I've heard from him in spaces and in his videos, um, he's out for the common man. He's a one for the common individual, like Robin Hood, man. Like, and he's gonna print some fucking millionaires, dude, and probably some billionaires. And my view on crypto is I'm invested in the S&P 500. I'm invested in NVIDIA because I don't believe that AI is going to go anywhere. I think that it's here to stay, and I think that it'll have its advantages and disadvantages. And I'm invested in real estate because I can go touch it. I'm invested in my businesses, and the reason I'm also invested in crypto is I believe that it is a good thing, as far as like my best correlation to it is gold. Um, so I would rather have guns and ammo than I would gold. In my opinion, I can't go hunt with gold. And some people are like, well, you can buy food with gold. And I'm like, yeah, but not if there's I'm from Alabama, so there could be Armageddon out there. It's just not a tangible thing to me. In cryptocurrency, there's no question with what this is worth, because if I go right here, I can check out the holders, and I can pull up the holders. And if I want to go in and scan every one of these and go through the process, I'm sure all y'all know a lot more than I do. I can figure out what they traded it for and where it went and who's got what. And there's no question that that's the price right there per unit. So it is risk, but it is risk in broad daylight, in my opinion. It's an open ended risk where you can see what's going on with it at all times. So I actually like it more than gold. Now and I would say that gold is probably worth more, but that's not necessarily the case either because gold is worth what they tell you it's worth too. So after that, you have a rock, and I mean you got a rock. Yeah. That's why I like guns and ammo more than I do gold is because I can go kill I can take my 30-06 and I can go kill a deer and I can feed everybody and I can go, kill a hog and I can skin it and I can feed everybody and I can trade weapons, I can trade ammo, I can do whatever I want to with this and for right now where we are, gold is there too. You can. But that may not be the case forever, and I believe guns and ammo actually have significant utility in that regard that it will always be, I can protect, I can hunt, I can do, and it works. And I know how it works, and one hobby I'm invested deeply in is artistic guns and engraved, send them to a hand engraver and actually add value to it with art to where this pistol that was $1,000 has this artist that engraves on this pistol, and when he passes away, his work becomes worth more because he's no longer putting out any work. That's why I like autographed shit, which my studio here is not done. I got a bunch of autographed jerseys and stuff that I'm about to get up, and um, so I and my favorite autographed my favorite autograph possession that I have is a Macho Man Randy Savage autograph, and the reason not the only because I love fucking Macho Man, dude. Oh yeah, and I heard this little skit with him, and he said I've soared with the eagles and I've slithered with the snakes and I've been everywhere in between. And there's one guarantee, and that there is no guarantees, brother. Yeah. you know, and he's oh yeah, and he goes, I've cried 100 times and I'll cry 100 more times because I have soared with the eagles and I have slithered with the snakes, and he's like, it's necessary for Macho Man to feel every emotion, yeah. I was like, that's fucking kick ass, dude. That's kick ass for kids. So that's my favorite autograph. But the main thing behind it is that he's gone from this world. He will no longer autograph anything else ever again. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I'm looking for a Mac Miller autograph, an authentic. Anything I have has a letter with authenticity with it, as far as my autograph stuff, and I'm heavy in baseball cards and football cards, and last year it was Kenny Pickett was the big razzmatazz of football, and he ended up. I don't think he shit the bed really, but he's not what he was in value of a card when he was a rookie. And I actually have one of those cards that was valued at $600, and I could have sold it for, and now it's worth 40, $50, But overproduction of cards and what's different, stuff like that's hobbies, and that's cool. And for right now, I don't look at this project for me as a hobby today. I'm deployed. I love that word. I'm fully deployed. Both my time and my money. And when I say my money, I mean everything that I'm willing to lose in cryptocurrency is in this coin, which is 100% of it. I'm willing to lose all of it because I believe and I back this project, with as much as that means from the guy from Alabama. I'm backing this project, and we were in that space, dude. We followed Goo God to that fucking space, bro. I'm not even gonna go there, bro. I'm not gonna shit talk. I'm not gonna shit talk. But dude, it was appalling, bro. It was appalling at some of the things that were being said that were like, bro, I feel like I really need to go take my social security card and put it in the safety deposit box right now. Like, ooh shit. I feel like just my presence in here led me closer to to being robbed by somebody. And it was bad, and it wasn't our space, guys. It was a random. Oh god, you can get in the Telegram and you can go view and see everything that you need to know about this. But anyway, man. So as far as tangibility with cryptocurrency, I'm okay with how tangible it is, and especially in a project like this that is backing somebody like Crash, and I'm learning more about them and stories about them every day from other people, and I just think that's neat as fuck, dude. That somebody cares enough to take their time. And he said something in a chat yesterday or 2 days ago, talking about another coin and Derulo or whatever. And he was like, he has like 60 million followers. And the guy gave him the actual numbers of what followers he had. And he said, but yeah, but I got, this many that was like maybe a fraction of what his were. And, 167,000 or 70 some 170 some thousand on X, and my coin's doing twice as what his is, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Grow where you're watered, bro. Grow where you're watered," and that's dope as fuck. But Jules was talking about it in the space, and what I said was there's three things that I can see from my understanding with this is either I'm playing percentages and I'm looking at that top little bar and I'm seeing these 2000% green bars and I'm like, man, and I ape in, or I'm investing in just a person. Like, I mean, because in my life, I held Justin Bieber um, for the girls and the people that I went to high school with, not me, because I was fucking raised on, you know, Genesis and Neil Diamond and Pink and not Pink, Prince and Michael Jackson and Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, but I remember that being such a buzz that I could understand somebody taking a significant amount of money and probably putting it into it if they had 1% knowledge of cryptocurrency. I could totally see that happen for Justin Bieber and other artists, some of those real, uh, you know, highly trending artists, and so I can understand percentages. I can understand people playing percentages, and if people know how to read charts better than I do, I can understand them making that call from a educated, their assessment. And but the third option that actually requires work on my end would be the narrative and the movement. Is uh, what does this symbolize? What does this coin symbolize? And if you hadn't read into the story of Crash, I would recommend you go figure out what that person symbolizes, and then also cross reference that to the community that's an open telegram and see if the narrative is true. And from what I see, it totally 100% is, which is badass as fuck, by the way. I mean, it's neat. Um, so that's what I see, man. And another thing is population continues to increase in America. We are spreading like fucking wildfire, dude. We're like rabbits. Everybody's just having babies everywhere, dude, especially in the South, bro. And everybody's looking for relief, and financial freedom and all this stuff. And everybody desires it, and I don't see crypto shrinking at all. Crypto will not shrink at all. There'll be the movement from Germany that sold all their Bitcoin and all this blah blah bullshit, and there'll be rug pulls like that one that what's his fucking face was in that went down like a complete 100% and just completely bottom lined, and then there'll be glitches like I'm gonna say it because Crash mentioned it yesterday, and I saw a comment, and he said, "Bro, you literally have XRP in your name." I'm not saying XRP is not ever going to do anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying because I don't know. And I've seen the car guys that go, "Oh, hey man, what do you do for a living? Oh, buy XRP." And so I've seen all that. But you know, a guy commented on the post and said, "What in 2025 you're looking to get another, the glitch it does where 30, you're looking at it to glitch up to $30 a share again. So there'll be all that stuff that happens that will, and I tell people as far as crash goes, I sent that chart with my drawing of the timeline, not a projection chart. I'm not projecting that it's gonna skyrocket up to this point where I drew the last line. What I was saying with the last line is it's completely open ended. But you had, the Dex Tools debacle where it, briefly, I'm talking about maybe 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, labeled, Crash as a, honeypot, which is impossible with the way it was formed on Ape Store. It was a completely fair launch. So, you'll see a drop from that from people that are like, "Oh, fuck, dipping." And I saw it right when it happened, and I commented, I shared it in the group and said, "Hey, what we do what is this?" And it was already dropped past the point of my point of, demise to where I would be, no, and it wasn't significant, it was just like, uh, if you've ever been in a casino and you've been gambling and you're they flew me out to Lake Tahoe, and, I've told this story on here before, is I was in Lake Tahoe, and as I wanted to go ride around the lake, and I wanted to go see the Lake Tahoe and Emerald Bay and all this shit, and I was gambling, and I had about $2,000 left, and I was just like, man, I kept winning like $1,000 and kept losing 500, and when I was like, I wish this shit was just fucking over with, and that's about, I was like, when I saw that pop up, I was like, fuck, but I'm done. And after that money was gone, it was almost a relief that I could go enjoy California because I wasn't gambling. But I'm a degen, bro. I'm a degenerate gambler. I'm a degenerate player. What I'm saying is this is not a gamble for me. I'm in it. But anyway, I was there for that, and then I was there for the bread. Girl carved Crash and a piece of sourdough bread, I guess it was, and Crash commented on it and said, "Oh, I love bread. I really love bread." And it was like, it's fucking just skyrocketed, man. So it's like I've been there for these high points, bro. And if you're that involved, you're not worried about a dip like this, bro, because this ain't dipping no more than anything else. It's actually performing better from what the guys have told me, from what I know and what they've shown me on the charts that I have to believe because that's more the knowledge than what I'm willing to go out and get. This has performed better than what other ones have, and also some of the ones that have downed us, and we're not gonna down anybody, that's cool that somebody takes the time out of their day to explain to somebody, "Yo, this ain't nothing to freak out about." Jeter's gonna jeet, and I keep saying in the telegram, I ain't tripping, I'm buying the dipping, you know? That's what I'm doing. If I see red, I'm trying to hit it on the head. So, I've been, doing what I can with that and putting back in. I locked up a good bit and said that was all I was gonna do, and I actually put in, some more yesterday and bought it when it went to, $14 million market cap, and I'm fine with that because let me see if I can't keep this pulled up and do what I wanna do right here. If I look right here, this was the, Dex tool debacle right here on the 24th of June, and if I look at this line right here, it's pretty much shooting straight through where it's tabled at right here. Let me pull that up on screen. Yeah, y'all can see what I'm doing. That's neat. So that tells me that's where the actual hardcore crashers live. You know what I mean? All this stuff right here, and some of these people that took profits up here, I'm sure, and dropped down a little bit. That's noble and that's honorable, and that's their fucking business. Um, so I'm okay with this table. There's nothing that concerns me about these little, you know, driplets of just they're fine. There it is again. I mean, it's fine. I don't have any problem with that. That's a long enough term for me to say, okay, if something was funky, something would have been funky right here, and I'm okay, and I'm proud of it for stopping where it did and holding the position that it's holding. So it's damn, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude, it's just it's a baby, bro. It's not even the thing is just taking his first little shits in his diaper and getting his, I mean, it's breathing. It ain't going nowhere with that name and that backing, which he hadn't endorsed or anything like that. But if you're following the crumb trail, and I said this last night, I would actually, if I was Crash, I would want to see this dip a little bit more and figure out who the fucking real diehards are, bro. Who's the people that are going to get fucking blessed through this is what I would want to know, because I want a team of people that are just fucking dogs for the movement and what it stands for and the principles and the ideology. That would be what I wanted out of people that extremely benefited from me. Like, this is super early, dude. This is baby early. When this gets listed on Coinbase, um, and when it gets listed on the other uh, exchanges and stuff, dude, and all that's being transmitted to the community in active updates of hey, where we got to be to do this, where are we going to be before we do this, and I believe it's been being handled with care. It's being treated like a baby. Hey, it's got legs. It's been walking for some people. I mean, this gave some people six figures already in the first 16 days. This gave people six figures. And if you ask me the difference between this and other projects, I would tell you this ain't a fucking sales pitch. I'm not sales pitching anything. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. Hell, you're not going to anyway. This is my outtake on what's going on here as far as a community and what it deserves to do and what it should do. And if kept being ran the way it is, I believe that just like in business, preparation will meet opportunity. That the amount that we prepare when the opportunity strikes will be the extent of our incline, and that's going to be the way that it goes, in my opinion. And I think that we're holding that fort down with extreme consideration and extreme care, and I trust it. So yeah, man, that's about an hour, and I wish I could learn how to bring people on and actually have a video space going to where somebody could talk to me and I could talk to them back. It'd be a lot easier than me rambling for an hour, which if I get going, I can usually do it the whole hour. If you got anything going on in your life and everything sucks, dude, it's everything's temporary. Everything's temporary, and discomfort is the promoter of change. Pain is the great motivator. Is whenever you get uncomfortable enough, I hope you do something different to change your fucking position in life. I hope you go out there and tell somebody that there ain't nothing's gonna fucking stop you. It don't matter, because that's what it took. And a lot of people in my direct circle hear me talk about money a lot, and they hear me talk about, and I'm not talking about my financial situation. I'm talking about money as a whole. And I don't care about money. I don't. It don't bother me if I believe that it, because I did it from the first dollar. I did it when I didn't have money, so it didn't. I know how to live without money. I know how to live in situations that most people, it's a nightmare, dude. And I don't have to live like that today. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. Um, but on the other hand, what I enjoy more than being a profitable business and being a profitable everything is freedom and running good businesses and being a good businessman and being an honest businessman to the extent of which I can. Um, because you can't divulge all information. In any construction industry, there are things that they don't want to hear that you had to use two plugs in this concrete instead of one plug. They want the job done. So some things you got to do to make a job work. And you know, and I hope you get to the point where nothing's gonna fucking stop you from making the job work. Because if you get to that point right there, the sky's the fucking limit. Now you might bust your ass 6 times, but when you get on down the road a little bit and you get past that, wondering if wondering if it's a good thing for you, then you're not going to worry about it, you know. And I was going to say that in the space today about, you know, sharing content and, you know, doing 100 posts a day and all this stuff was, you know, by the time you get to a point where you reach any negativity, you're probably going to have so much positivity that you wondered why you didn't do it 10 years ago in the fucking first place. And that's why I posted the picture of me when I used to have a mullet. I kept that mullet, dude. It was down here. I permed it twice. So I had a stinking ass perm mullet, bro. And I could spray that thing down. And dude, it looked like damn, what's his name? What's his name with Jerry Curl? Dave Chappelle. Charlie Murphy. It was a dripping ass mullet, dude. And I kept it and I almost loved dealing with people while I had it because I wanted them to get to know me. I didn't, you know, it was almost like a personal, it was a visual deterrent from myself, you know, like you're gonna deal with me. You're gonna look at this mullet, you're gonna approve this job. I'm gonna get this job done for you. And they're gonna be like, damn, this kid's a fucking dog, bro. He didn't give a shit. You know, and I don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Had a mullet to the middle of my back, bro, and cut it whenever it took me started taking me 45 minutes to start combing that thing out. So I had to cut it down. Um, but man, everything that somebody's told me that I cannot do, I've went and done. Because I had an old man at Sunbelt Glass. And he looked at me and he said, you know, I said, I'm going to open a glass company one day called this. And he said, that ain't never going to work. You ain't going to be able to name it. They're not going to let you name it that. And I said, okay. You know, and 7 years later, where you at? You know, and now I go deal with that old man when I need to go in there and get some material that they offer. And dude, I respect him because I'm like, dude, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I am without you downing me when you did. I wouldn't be where I am without you telling me I was a piece of shit. You know, and I have more respect from people from that angle in the back end that, dude, I don't know if you were so miserable that you felt you had to say something or that you cared, but either way, the way somebody made me feel about myself was necessary in order for me to do the things required to get the things done that I'm doing right now, you know, and I believe that with my fullest heart, bro, that everything had its place, you know, and for a long time, that place in my head was gone. It would have been better not to be here, you know, and today, you know, today I'm a daddy, I'm a uncle, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a cousin. You know, I'm everything that can help me go to sleep at night because when you're living like that, there ain't no sleep. You know, and that's the way it was for me, and it's not like that today. So you know, and I hope you join the podcast again. I hope you get to learn more about me. I hope I get to learn more about other people in here and have some genuine one-on-one conversations with people and have a good time. And if you join, I appreciate you. And if nobody's told you today, I love you, and there ain't a goddamn thing you can do about it.